So, you're thinking about retiring and moving, like out of state. Well, it's probably you have a mixed feeling of excitement, but apprehension. I think mostly men, they don't have as hard a time as women do. So probably, it's different, very different for people. Some people may not have children. So there's really nothing as far as family. If they don't have much family as far as moving, it's not as hard. But if you have family, that's probably the number one problem you would have. If you have like young grandchildren. Now myself, my grandchildren are all grown. And they're getting kind of scattered too. But here in Tennessee, where I moved from Indiana to Tennessee, even though there's still most of them are in that area of Indiana. So that is something you really have to consider. But they're grown, so they really have their own lives. So even when I was living there, I didn't see them much. I'm not upset about it. I love when they came over to see me. I loved it. But I know they had their own lives. So that's fine. But there are times where just knowing that they're close and knowing if something happened, you could call on them. Now that I'm in Tennessee, my whole story is going to be after this, after we talk. You think about, like, I had to write out an emergency. I was at the doctor's office, put emergency numbers, and like, who am I going to put? I just put a couple of my neighbors, their numbers there, but that's something to think about. But also there's the excitement of, it might be you're ready for something new. Now with me, my husband had passed away and I remarried, so yeah, it was like a new life, like starting all over. Because back home, everybody knew me as, it was Larry and Sandy. But now it's Bill and Sandy. And the friends that I made here, most of them, they don't even know. Even with Bill, with his wife, Andy, some of them do, but most of them just know Bill and I. And so it is a new beginning. And I'd say for people who are remarrying like that, I can see where that is easier. Yes. So the things you have to think about is all the getting the house ready when you're going to move. That's a big thing. Getting rid of stuff. And if you're even thinking about moving, start getting rid of stuff now. Get rid of clutter. Take family photos down. Put some fresh paint on the walls. Give everything a thorough cleaning. And maybe even take a photograph of the rooms and look at it freshly with fresh eyes. And if you have a realtor, tell her to be honest with you. Say, what would you do if this was your house and you were selling it? And they'll usually have you get rid of so much stuff. Like on your counters, you can't have all these appliances out, like toasters and everything. You just got to move all that stuff, make everything look clean and neat. And if you don't know what to do with it, get a storage unit and put the stuff in boxes, because then when you do get ready to move, they're already in the boxes, and just move them out of storage. Yes, you have to do all that. But if you're excited about moving and thinking about getting into a newer home, different neighborhood could be good for you if you don't really like your neighbors, and maybe dislike them, but you just have no ties there. They're not real friendly. I would say the neighborhood I lived in, there was only one lady that I visited with, and people just were not friendly. They just were not friendly there. Here, everyone's friendly. And I made so many. They just went out with all the neighbors for one of the ladies' breakfast, for her birthday, rather. Had a breakfast, or lunch, we had together. But, I would have never done that back home. So it can be exciting where you're moving. Now, things are cheaper here. That maybe where you want to live, things are higher, so you do need to consider that. I have a home on the golf course, which is 2,500 some square feet. My taxes are only about $900 a year. That's unbelievable. But, maybe you don't want to live here. You want to live in Florida or something. Well, you will get less house for your money. We got more house for our money here. But we went to a play that they have here. They got these plays I really like to go at the Playhouse. And we were there last night, and one of the ladies was, I started talking to her. She was sitting next to me. And she's been here, I think, 9 years, and she doesn't like it at all. And she wants to move. So, is there just, and I asked her why, she goes, there's just nothing to do. But she told me that she used to dance for the Rockettes. So she is probably a lady who likes the city and more shopping and just more things going on. So that's totally understandable. Now, shopping's not real great here. It's really not. And even restaurants are not real great. So those are things you got to consider. But it's a quieter, slower lifestyle, which is fine for me. I'm a bit of a homebody anyhow, so I'm not big for running around. And I do shop more on Amazon now, for sure. And there's a thing of just moving and getting used to the place and, where everything's at. We're at the grocery store. What about, and you got to change doctors. Everything. Nobody knows you. You don't go to the grocery store and bump into somebody you know. I do now, because I think it'll be maybe 3 years. I've been in this last house here in Tennessee in July, maybe, I don't know. No, we were married be married 3 years in July, but I think last November we moved in here. It was 2 years last November. But now I have made a lot of friends. So you have to get out there and do it. Now, I'm a Christian, so I love Bible studies. So we do go to a Bible study on Wednesdays. We go to church on Sunday. And then on Monday morning, we have small groups from the church. Like you say, we get together with neighbors. Just different people that we've made friends with. I go to breakfast on Wednesday, sometimes on Thursday, with a group of ladies, another group of ladies. So, but you just got to get out there and start making friends, Okay, so I'm trying to think. Loss. Okay, the thing you lose back home when you move is your loss of social connections. Now, after losing my husband, then I my friends were still married, and so you get the fifth wheel syndrome. It's not their fault, it's just how it is. And so that part, you know, you don't really socialize. But now two of my friends that I really were close to, they've lost their husbands since I've lost my husband and I moved. So then I'm thinking, if anything ever happened to my husband now, Bill, would I move back there? I could be with them, be closer to family. But the weather is better here. We have all that snow in Indiana. Now, in Tennessee, last winter we didn't even shovel once. I think the year before that we shoveled maybe once or twice. It usually just melts away. We don't have the big snows or getting snowed in. So, you know, you just toss this stuff back and forth. But if you're very attached to family, very attached to old friends, very involved in your community, then it may not be the best thing to move for you. If, like in my case, after my husband passed, everything kind of faded away as far as the things you did, and I don't know. There was nothing really holding me. There really wasn't. But do I miss Indiana? I absolutely do. I mean, the friends I had there were like, they had been friends for many, many years, and they knew my children, and they know my grandchildren, and they know so much of my life and what I've been through. And I know them and their family. But I really enjoy all my new friendships here too. So, yeah, I don't know. You know, you just have to sometimes not be afraid and just go for it, because there's times now when winter comes here, even in Tennessee, it gets cold. And there's times I would like to be at a warm place like Florida. But then again, I think about that heat, how it gets real bad sometimes. And I don't know if I would like that. So, I don't know. Whatever you're the most comfortable with, you might be a more adventuresome person. And so, it would all be fun for you. I'm trying to think what other, identity, feeling disconnected. Yeah, you do get to feel disconnected for a while. And not knowing anyone, is rough at first, but it doesn't take long to start rebuilding. The thing that bothers me sometimes is like, what if my getting older? Well, I'm 82 now, so something I think about, like getting older, I would prefer I was close by family. But I don't want to live with anybody. But I would like to live in a condo or something where everything is taken care of, but yet I was not too far from them. So I could, not depend on anybody else. As far as I'm concerned, I would like to live, if I'm that old, with one of those things around my neck. Like, I've fallen and I can't get up. Push the button. I'd rather do that than be in a dang nursing home. Really. And at least I know that somebody would come and check on me once in a while. That would be nice. So, I don't know. There's a lot to think about. Taxes, like I say, are cheaper here. Some places, just the cost of living is higher. But if you can get caught up in the excitement of getting a new home, being in a new area, new adventures. But if you're not daring and you're just very tied to your family, then it might not be a good idea. But nothing has to be so permanent if you move that you can't move again or move back. Why not? You can always do that. So don't let fear take over as far as moving. Oh yeah, looking for a new church. Well, there's lots of churches here. So I began going to the same church that my husband was going to because he was down here before me. So I had begun doing that. But I just felt like I wanted to go to someplace that was closer, because if he goes before me, I would like to have a place where I would feel comfortable driving to. And the church he's going to is maybe kind of younger, really big church. I found one here that I think I'm going to like. It's really close. It's right next to the grocery store. And we just started. We went last Sunday to the church service. And then today we went to their Bible study. Next Sunday we're going to go to the church and Bible study. But you have to go a while before you find out if you like it. But the people there like more our age group. Okay. I know I probably have left out quite a few things here. But basically, I think I've covered a lot of it. Let me know your situation. What are you doing? Are you getting ready to retire? Or what are your fears about moving? Or what are you looking forward to about moving? I ended up getting a better house, better neighbors, better community. It's not been a bad move. I just miss family and old friends. Okay, hope this helped, guys. Make sure you comment. And and you could subscribe. I'd like that. And maybe give me a like and comment a little bit. I'd like that. Just tell me what's going on in your life. All right. Bye-bye. You're not going to believe this, but at the age of 79, I moved 3 times in 3 months. It sounds really crazy, but it's what happened. I was newly married. I was widowed. My husband was, my husband now, he was a widower. My husband had Alzheimer's and COVID. His wife had COVID. That's how they passed. So he loved Tennessee, but he was willing to move anywhere I wanted to move. I don't think he's so willing now. But you know what? First love. Anywhere I wanted to move. So at this time, I wanted to move to Florida because my sister and I were very close. She's the only sibling I have left. She's younger than me. And she lived in Indianapolis because her husband's job took her there. So we were about 2 hours apart all the time. And she's the one that did most of the driving to come to our area because that's where her husband's family was at and everyone else. But she always planned that when her husband retired, that she would come back to Indiana and we could be closer together and go shopping and do things. Well, all the plans we make in life, right? Well, her oldest son, was married and had 3 grandchildren that my sister dearly loved. And he moved to Florida. Well, when he moved to Florida, then my sister and her husband, they moved to Florida. Then, of course, her other son, who was not married, he moved to Florida. So her whole family is there. So I was thinking it would be nice if I moved to Florida. Well, that was the plan. So I sold my house in Crown Point, Indiana, and it was a townhouse duplex, 3-bedroom. It was a nice place. I love the way where it was located because I was close to everything. You know, every possible restaurant you could think of, grocery stores, great grocery stores. There was, I think it was Strachan Van Tilt. There was also Aldi's. It was just, not far from town. It was as far as location, a great place to live. Not far from the church. Yeah. But we did end up, I sold that house and I sold my car. So there's a couple little photos. I don't have many photos of the house. I'm sure I have the photos, but they're somewhere in my phone. But there's a few of where I used to live. Okay, so we packed up all my stuff, which that's another thing about moving. You've got to get rid of so much stuff and pack so much stuff. And I'm an artist, and I had all these paintings that I actually had to have somebody come in and package them all up, and tape them all up, and put them in boxes where they wouldn't get damaged. Just trying to find movers, cleaning the place up, garage sales. I think we had a garage sale for 2 days, and then for 2 or 3 days just giving stuff away. Oh, yes. Then the in-between time of getting rid of the bed, and now, I was 79, he was 80, and we're ended up sleeping on the floor in the living room. It's not good. That's fun when you're young, not when you get older. Thank God a friend of mine, Linda, had an air mattress, and she brought it over for us. It was like we were in a luxury hotel when we got the air mattress. But packed up after the movers came and got everything out. We packed his car up. I sold mine. We got into his. We both had a Subaru, by the way. And put the dog in the back seat with this one little place that didn't have a bunch of junk, and put a bungee cord to hold the stuff over in the back so it wouldn't fall on the dog. And off we went to Tennessee, which he was in love with. But we were going to move to Florida after this. But we had to get his house sold now. So took all the stuff to Tennessee, but what are we going to do with my stuff? I got rid of so much stuff, but a lot of stuff I just couldn't get rid of. So we got a big storage unit. We had a hard time finding that, but we got one. And all the stuff we put into storage. So I had just enough clothes and stuff to get me through. And we moved into his townhouse. I'll put some photos of his townhouse. Okay, so now we're in Tennessee, and or I should say Bill and I and my little dog Millie. So this is all new to her too. Well, she loves to chase squirrels. There was a lot of squirrels there from the deck that And Bill was always chasing him off the deck, so she kind of took over that job. But we had to now we decided, oh, yeah, okay. After I was there in the townhouse for a while, I fell in love with Tennessee. It's kind of a Bible Belt in a way. Just so many Christians here, and like they call you Mr. Bill and Miss Sandy, and everyone's so friendly, and just like almost everybody you meet is a Christian. So I fell in love with it. Then we decided we're not going to move to Florida because he didn't really like Florida. Doesn't like the heat. So if we were going to stay here in Florida, we decided his place was too small because we're probably not the typical retired couple. I have a lot of interest. One is I like gardening. I have my YouTube channel, and I need a place to do this. Right now I'm in the car because he's in the house and doing something that's loud. And also, he is a writer. I also love to cook, and I like to paint. I'm an artist. Plus, you need a room for guests if you're going to move this far away. All right, so here we go again. Now we start getting his house ready to sell. And you know how it is, repairs and painting and so on and so forth. And at the same time, you're looking for a house. So, I mean, I could tell you a lot more. There's just so much to it. But we did find a house. And we live on the golf course. It's a good size house. I think 2,500 and something square feet. So far, we're managing with it. We realized that if we did move into an area, they have places out here. And there is one we would consider. And they do a lot of the maintenance things for you. But basically, if we need something done, we have guys that come out and they cut the grass. I can get somebody to come out and weed, cut bushes, repairs. We're learning to do a few things to ourselves. So it's worked out good, and we love the house. Really love the area too. So let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of moving away from what you're familiar with, moving away from friends and family.